Get your daily news fix with News Source Scrawler's latest edition, December 20th, 2024, featuring crypto, politics, tech, and more.
UK arts and media reject plan to let AI firms use copyrighted material. Lil Wayne's AI Kendrick Lamar diss track goes viral and causes confusion. Anthropic announced alignment faking in large language models answer, where the model believes its responses won't be used for training.
In 2024, a total of $2.2 billion was stolen from cryptocurrency platforms. However, the volume of hacks remained relatively stable as the year progressed, with activity from the DPRK slowing significantly after July. Research indicates that Bitcoin would require more than 300 consecutive days of downtime to effectively protect itself from the looming threat of quantum computing. Bloomberg notes that the removal of Tether could jeopardize Europe's opportunity to participate in the anticipated cryptocurrency boom, led by Trump. Bloomberg's editor-in-chief asserts that paywalls are the most secure method to ensure job stability for journalists. Mozilla warns that the proposed contractual remedies in the United States versus Google case could jeopardize the essential function of independent browsers. New Zealand becomes the first country to offer a nationwide direct-to-smartphone Starlink service. Trump's border czar states that he requires funding and a minimum of 100,000 beds to implement deportation plans. Advocates reportedly train immigrants to prepare to stay in the U.S. during Trump's administration. It has been reported that, as landowners resist, Texas' border wall is fragmented and constructed in remote locations. Donald Trump expresses a desire to lead the charge in eliminating the debt ceiling and warns of a government shutdown if his demand for a debt limit increase is not met, attributing blame to Biden if such an event occurs. Rand Paul suggests Elon Musk as a candidate for House Speaker. Paris Hilton considers a potential political campaign, following her successful advocacy for an at-risk youth bill. Japan considers nuclear the most affordable baseload power source by 2040 and aims for 40 to 50% of its power supply to come from renewables by the same year. Biden establishes an economy-wide climate goal, cutting emissions by 66% in 2035 compared to 2005 levels. A regulator warns that half of the U.S. faces a high risk of power shortages in the coming decade, as NERC highlighted the urgent need for resources over the next 10 years due to accelerating electricity demand growth, according to the 2024 LTRA. Parliament approves legislation permitting foreign banks to conduct business in Ethiopia. Syria's biggest refinery ceases operations due to the halt in Iranian oil supply. The UK election watchdog seeks new donation regulations to address potential influence from Elon Musk. It is reported that Elon Musk is contemplating financial support for Nigel Farage's Populist Party, which could significantly impact UK politics.
With Gaza death trap, Doctors Without Borders, the MSF report exposes Israel's campaign of total destruction. White House says Biden will visit Pope Francis and Italy's PM Meloni in final international trip of his presidency. A report from Israel claimed Soldiers say open-fire policies in Gaza too loose, leading to civilian deaths. Amazon postpones return-to-office requirement for many employees because of lack of office space. FedEx is separating its freight division, forming FedEx Freight spinoff to establish the biggest LTL carrier. Research indicates Waymo's autonomous taxi system offers much greater safety than human drivers. Men die from pneumonia after using bat poop to grow marijuana. It has been commented that copyright abuse is getting Luigi Mangione merch removed from the internet, as United Health gets Luigi Mangione t-shirt pulled with copyright complaint. Disturbing murder case solved after Google Street View catches suspected killer putting body in trunk. Research indicates the initial proof of ancient religious practices in a Galilee cave with a 35,000 years old tortoiseshell carving potentially representing the Holy Land's earliest ritual behavior. A silver amulet discovered in a Frankfurt grave is considered the oldest evidence of Christianity located north of the Alps. The sarcophagus of the real Santa Claus has been found in a Turkish church annex. Youth drug use in the U.S. is experiencing a significant decline following the pandemic. Veteran suicides have decreased since 2018, according to a new VA report, but they continue to be persistently steady. Immigration is propelling U.S. population growth to its highest rate in 23 years, with residents surpassing 340 million.
A former high-ranking assistant to New York City's mayor has been indicted in a bribery conspiracy. In Malaysia, a court has cleared Najib's wife, Rosma, of charges related to money laundering and tax evasion. According to recent SEC filings, Trump has moved all his DJT shares into his revocable trust.
Russia will continue to pose a threat to Europe after the Ukraine conflict, according to Finland. Estonia's chief intelligence officer emphasizes that NATO must deter Russia for the next decade to two. Meanwhile, Putin states that Russia is prepared to negotiate with Trump regarding the Ukraine war. Additionally, Hungary has granted rare political asylum to a fugitive Polish peace lawmaker, following Poland's issuance of an arrest warrant for the opposition politician facing criminal charges 8 days prior. Pakistan is reportedly working on missiles that could potentially reach the United States, according to a senior U.S. official. Meanwhile, a Pentagon report indicates that China has almost tripled its nuclear weapons since 2020. Additionally, Elon Musk's criticism of F-35s has sparked a discussion about the high cost of these fighter jets. In response, the Air Force Secretary has countered Musk's remarks on eliminating manned fighters, emphasizing he is not a warfighter. Real Madrid secures victory against Pachuca to claim the FIFA Intercontinental Cup. The global box office is anticipated to reach $33 billion by 2025. LeBron James becomes the NBA's all-time leader in regular season minutes played, surpassing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. U.S. economy expands at a rate of 3.1% in the third quarter, surpassing the earlier forecast. Research indicates that California's $20 minimum wage for fast food employees has not negatively impacted employment. ICE deportations in FY 2024 have reached levels comparable to those during the Trump administration, as the Biden administration nears its conclusion. Microplastics in the air may be leading to lung and colon cancers. In the U.S., the FDA announced an update the healthy claim that manufacturers can voluntarily use on food packages, which contain a certain amount of recommended food and meet specific limits in sugars, fat, and sodium. California squirrels have developed a taste for meat in surprise discovery. Syrian interim government plans to disclose a list of names of former Assad regime officials who are wanted. Putin declared that Russia transported 4,000 Iranian troops from Syria to Tehran, and he refuted claims of Russian defeat in Syria, stating that Israel is the primary beneficiary. It has been remarked that Israel's Netanyahu is focusing on Iran following his successes against Hamas, Hezbollah, and Syria. The Hill comments as, Musk floods X with spending bill misinformation. The Atlantic comments as, the GOP is treating Musk like he's in charge. The Guardian comments as, Elon Musk is becoming a one-man rogue state. It's time we reined him in.
YouTube announces stricter measures against clickbait titles in India. Influencers predict that Meta's platforms, particularly Instagram, will gain the most if a U.S. TikTok ban occurs, with Instagram projected to account for over half of Meta's U.S. ad revenue by 2025, according to a report. Mr. Beast leases Egyptian pyramids for 100 hours to create a YouTube video. Federal authorities claim Chinese government placed an agent in Southern California to sway local government decisions. China advises making the right choice following Trump's claim that he and she can resolve global issues. China is reportedly increasing its Pacific activities, with Taiwan invasion deemed not possible by 2027, according to Department of Defense officials.
Sonic the Hedgehog 4 in the works for 2027 release. In Japan, Evangelion Anime launches transforming fast food robots in McDonald's collaboration. Nintendo Switch finally surpasses PlayStation 2's lifetime sales in the US. Sweden will no longer fund UNRWA aid agency, minister says. AP comments as, for thousands of Jews, Israel still doesn't feel safe after the October 7th attacks. So they're leaving. In the U.S., EPA staffers demand Biden release climate funds withheld over Gaza. 7 months ago, a pro-Hamas group got $50 million U.S. grant under Inflation Reduction Act, senator says.